We want to find the center, vertices, foci, equations of asymptotes, and graph the hyperbola given. So here is our hyperbola, and as we look at the two standard equation forms, we see that we have this second one here because the y squared term is positive. That tells us the transverse axis will be parallel to the y-axis. All right, so as we look at this, we can see that there is nothing in the parentheses with the y or with the x, so we know our center is going to be at 0, 0. I'm going to go ahead and just put an x where the center will be then. And then as we look, our b squared is 9, so that means b is 3. So from the center, we're going to go up 3, and we'll get a point, and that'll be one vertex. We're going to go down 3, and that will be another vertex. Our transverse axis runs along the y-axis, and here's vertex 1 and vertex 2. So our vertices are at the points 0, 3 and 0, -3. Okay, now we look here underneath the x squared, and that's a squared, that's 4, so that means a is the square root of that, or 2. So from the center in the x direction each way, we move 2. So 2 to the right and 2 to the left. That's enough info to see where our guide rectangle is. I'm going to make a rectangle that contains those points that goes around that center. And the thing I'm most interested in are the diagonals of that rectangle, because those are the asymptotes for this hyperbola. So I'm going to draw those diagonals in. And now I'm ready to actually graph the hyperbola. I know since the y squared term is positive, the transverse axis is going along the y-axis here, and the vertices are located on the transverse axis. So I know the hyperbola goes through those vertices and heads towards the asymptotes. So there is the graph. Now let's answer the other things they wanted. They want the foci. Okay, the foci are located within each branch of the hyperbola, so they will be along the transverse axis, and they are c away from the center. Well, the connection between c and a and b is c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So that's going to be 4 plus 9, which is 13. So c would be the square root of 13. So we're going to move the square root of 13, which is about 3.6 along the transverse axis, and there's our first focus. So that focus is at 0 and square root of 13, and then we're going to move the other direction by square root of 13, and about 3.6 down here is the other focus. So that's at 0 and negative square root of 13. Okay, the only thing we need to find now are the equations of the asymptotes. We see that the asymptotes have a y-intercept right here at the origin at 0, so we need to just find the slopes, and they will be y equal mx, because plus b, the b is 0. So I'm going to count from the center and see that I go up 3, so I rise 3, and I go over 2 for this positive sloped asymptote. So the equation is going to be, we went 3 over 2x. So the equation of the other asymptote from the center, I would go down 3 and over 2. And so this one would be y equal negative, since I went down, and then over 2. So here are the equations of the asymptotes.